What if you could build a server-grade AI rig for just $800 more than the budget build? That's exactly what the Pro Tier GPU rig delivers. And today, we're breaking down every component, every upgrade, and every reason why serious AI builders choose the ROMED 82T platform. Let's start with the question everyone asks. Why spend more? Our budget build gets you 4 RTX 3090s for around $3,500. It works great. But if you're running AI workloads around the clock, serving models to a team, or planning to upgrade to next-generation GPUs down the road, you'll hit the limits of consumer hardware surprisingly fast. The Pro tier build swaps that consumer foundation for server-grade infrastructure, and the total comes to just $4,314. For 800 more, you get a completely different class of machine. The heart of this build is the Rock Rack ROMED 82T. This is a proper server motherboard in a standard ATX form factor, designed for workstations and GPU compute. It features 7 PCIe 4x16 physical slots, all connected to 128 PCIe lanes from the EPYC CPU. Compare that to the budget build's mining motherboard, which runs GPUs at PCIe 3x1 through USB risers. Full PCIe 4 bandwidth delivers 256 times more throughput per slot, critical for training, multi-GPU tensor parallelism, and future GPUs that expect Gen 4 or Gen 5 lanes. The ROMED 82T also has built-in IPMI Intelligent Platform Management Interface. This gives you a dedicated BMC with its own network port. You can remotely power the machine on or off, access the BIOS, mount ISO images for OS installation, and monitor CPU temperatures, fan speeds, and power draw, all from a web browser, even when the operating system is completely crashed. For a headless rig in a closet or server room, IPMI is an absolute game changer. And then there's the networking. Dual Intel X550 AT210 gigabit Ethernet ports are built right in, no add-in card needed. A 70 gigabyte model file transfers in about 56 seconds over 10 GB versus 9 minutes on standard gigabit. When you're deploying models to production or syncing to a NAS, that speed difference is massive. For the CPU, we chose the AMD EPYC 7252. It's the cheapest way to get 128 PCIe 4 lanes, 8 cores, 16 threads, 3.1 GHz base, and about $120 used on eBay. For a GPU rig, the CPU is just a traffic controller. It feeds data to the GPUs and handles system tasks. 8 cores is plenty. And the ROMED 82T supports EPYC 7003 series with up to 64 cores if you ever need to upgrade, same socket, drop-in replacement. Memory is server-grade registered ECC DDR4. ECC stands for error correcting code. It automatically detects and corrects single-bit memory errors before they can corrupt your model weights or crash your inference server. Consumer RAM produces bit flips that go completely undetected. ECC catches them. For 24/7 operation, this is not optional in professional environments, and now you have it. Start with one 32 gigabyte stick at around $50, and you have 7 empty DIMM slots left for expansion up to 2 terabytes. On power, the Pro tier uses a single Super Flower LEDX Titanium 1600 watt PSU instead of dual server PSUs with breakout boards. It's 80 plus titanium certified, meaning 94% or better efficiency, fully modular, with a 10-year warranty and standard PCIe cables included. No adapter boards, no noisy server PSU whine. 4 RTX 3090s at 350 watts each draw 1400 watts peak. The 1600 watt supply handles that with 200 watts of headroom for the system. Even though the ROMED 82T has 7 physical X16 slots, triple-fan RTX 3090 cards are 2.5 to 3 slots wide. They physically cannot fit side by side on the board, so we still use PCIe risers, but the key difference is we use PCIe 4x16 riser cables instead of USB risers. This preserves full Gen 4 bandwidth per GPU. They cost $8 to $15 each, compared to $5 for USB risers, and they're worth every cent. Now let's talk expansion. This is where the Pro tier truly separates itself. Add 3 more GPUs and you've got 7 running at full PCIe 4 bandwidth. That's 168 gigabytes of VRAM. Use PCIe bifurcation with MCIO adapters, and community builders have pushed 10 to 13 GPUs on a single ROMED 82T board. That's 240 to 312 gigabytes of VRAM, enough to run Llama 3405B at full precision. The budget build maxes out at 6 GPUs. The Pro tier scales to 13. When next generation GPUs arrive, the RTX 5090, the NVIDIA Pro 6000, they need full PCIe 4 bandwidth to perform. You just slot them in. No motherboard swap, no platform rebuild. The infrastructure you're building today will carry you for 5 years or more. The software stack is identical to the budget build. Ubuntu Server 22.04, NVIDIA drivers and CUDA, then vLLM, Alama or Llama, CPP. The entire stack is free and open source. With IPMI, you don't even need a monitor or keyboard for initial setup. Mount the Ubuntu ISO remotely from your laptop and install the OS through the remote KVM console, exactly like a data center. So who should choose the Pro tier? If you're running a rig 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and need the stability of ECC memory and IPMI remote management, this is your build. If you plan to do training or fine-tuning where PCIe bandwidth matters, this is your build. If you want to scale to 7 plus GPUs without replacing your platform, this is your build. If you're serving models to a team and need 10 gigabit networking for fast model deployment, this is your build. At $4,300, the Pro Tier GPU rig gives you server-grade infrastructure that would cost tens of thousands of dollars in a commercial server, PCIe 4 full bandwidth, IPMI remote management, dual 10 GB ECC RAM, and an upgrade path that scales to next-generation hardware. For less than the cost of one extra GPU, you're not just building a GPU rig, you're building a server. Read the full guide with the complete shopping list and every buy link at ThinkSmart. Life, link in the description. And subscribe for more deep dive AI hardware research.